But first and foremost,
The excitement is starting this morning already.
Alex is an ice road trucker.
Before ice road truckers made him famous, Alex Debogorski had already cheated death countless times. He survived 37 bar fights in a week, 11 attempted robberies, and nearly being crushed in a coal mine. But nothing could prepare him for what came next. As his TV fame grew, tragedy struck again and again: 2 sons lost, crippling debt, life-threatening illness. Now at 71, the man who conquered the ice roads faces his toughest battle yet. Alex Debogorski was born on August 4, 1953, in Berwyn, Alberta, Canada. His parents, Stanley and Irene, had lived through the horrors of World War II in Poland. Stanley had been a brave paratrooper in the Free Polish Brigade, fighting dangerous missions like Operation Market Garden. He even had to hide from German soldiers for weeks to stay alive. Irene was just as remarkable. She studied math and music at Cambridge University while bombs fell around her in England. They met by chance in an air raid shelter during 1943. Despite the chaos of war, they fell in love and got married only 6 months later. After the war, Stanley and Irene could not go back to Poland. The country was now controlled by the Soviet Union, and people like Stanley who had fought for the Free Polish forces were treated as enemies. They decided to leave everything behind and start fresh in Canada. In 1952, they boarded a crowded ship to cross the Atlantic. The journey was rough, with stormy seas, and Irene, pregnant with Alex, suffered terrible seasickness. After 2 weeks, they arrived in Halifax, Nova Scotia. From there, they made their way west to Alberta, where farmland was affordable. A year later, Alex was born, their first Canadian-born child. Alex grew up on a farm in northern Alberta. Life there was tough. Winters were so cold the temperatures often dropped below -40°C. The snow covered everything for months, and the family had to work hard just to stay warm and keep the animals fed. Every fall, they prepared for winter by chopping firewood, preserving food, and getting all the farm equipment ready. Alex learned to plan ahead and stay calm in tough situations. Summers were not much easier. The heat brought swarms of mosquitoes and black flies that made outdoor work miserable. Alex and his family worked through it all, planting crops and caring for animals, no matter how uncomfortable it was. By the time Alex was 7, he had a list of chores to do every day. He fed the chickens, collected eggs, and helped with milking the cows. As he got older, his responsibilities grew. He learned to fix fences, drive tractors, and help with the exhausting harvest season. One year, when he was 14, the family worked nonstop for 2 weeks to finish harvesting before an early frost could ruin their crops. Alex said that experience taught him the importance of teamwork and never giving up even when things were hard. Even though life on the farm was difficult, there were moments of wonder and joy. Alex loved watching the northern lights, which lit up the sky on clear winter nights. He also enjoyed exploring the woods around the farm, talking to birds, and observing nature. But growing up was not always easy for him. He was shy and clumsy, which made him a target for teasing at school. These experiences made him spend more time alone, which helped him develop a rich imagination and a love for storytelling, something that would later make him stand out on ice road truckers. Alex's family history had a big influence on him. His maternal grandfather, a major in the Polish infantry during World War II, was executed by the Germans for helping Jews escape Poland. This story of courage and sacrifice stayed with Alex and gave him a deep sense of justice and the courage to take risks when it mattered. His parents also made sure Alex and his siblings understood the importance of their Polish roots. Family gatherings were filled with stories about the war, traditional Polish songs, and hearty meals that kept their heritage alive. Before becoming a famous ice road trucker, he took on jobs that were wild, risky, and full of challenges. On August 17, 1971, at just 18 years old, Alex started his first job as a bouncer at the Yellowknife Inn, a bar known for constant fights. Within his first week, he had already broken up 37 bar fights, gotten 2 black eyes, and even a broken rib. But he did not back down. Over 18 months, he threw out more than 2,000 rowdy customers. He came close to being stabbed 13 times but managed to avoid it each time. In 1973, Alex wanted a change and became a taxi driver in Edmonton. This job seemed safer, but it was not. In only 6 months, he survived 11 robbery attempts. The worst happened on October 3, 1973, when a passenger pulled a knife on him and demanded his money. Alex, relying on his experience as a bouncer, fought back. He disarmed the robber and held him until the police came. By early 1974, Alex moved to Alberta's oil fields. He worked as an oil rigger, where shifts lasted 16 hours in temperatures that dropped to -40°C. On July 12, 1974, a drilling pipe came loose and barely missed hitting his head. It could have killed him, but Alex kept going, proving he was not afraid of dangerous work. In November 1974, Alex started working in the coal mines of Grande Cache, Alberta. He went 2,000 feet underground daily, facing constant risks like cave-ins, gas explosions, and coal dust that could ruin his lungs. On March 22, 1975, a collapse trapped 3 miners. Alex spent 17 hours digging with his bare hands and a small shovel to save them. His bravery stood out, but these tough jobs also taught him how to stay calm under pressure and solve problems quickly, skills that would later help him as an ice road trucker. Alex's personal life was just as adventurous. On June 15, 1972, at the age of 19, he married his high school sweetheart, Louise. Their story began on September 7, 1969, when Alex, with his towering 6'3" frame and clumsy dance moves, accidentally knocked over 5'2" Louise at a school dance. Instead of getting mad, Louise laughed, and their relationship started. On their third date, Alex took her on a late-night drive across a frozen lake. The ice cracked under their car, but Alex's quick thinking got them safely to shore. Rather than scare Louise, the experience brought them closer. When Louise discovered she was pregnant on March 12, 1972, their bond deepened even further. Alex stood by her. He proposed with a ring he made from a silver dollar and didn't care what others thought about their young age. Their wedding was small with just 23 guests and a potluck dinner. They even drank homemade dandelion wine. For their honeymoon, they camped in the wilderness where they ran into a grizzly bear. This kind of excitement became normal for the Debogorskis. Life was tough at first. Between 1972 and 1976, they lived in 14 different places, including a school bus and a cabin with no running water. On November 18, 1972, during a blizzard, Louise gave birth to their first child. They could not make it to the hospital, so Alex delivered the baby himself. Alex's trucking career began on September 3, 1972, when he got a job at the McIntyre Porcupine coal mine. He had no real experience but lied, saying he had driven trucks on his family farm. On his first day on the job, he was put in a massive Euclid R50 dump truck, which was as big as a house. He almost tipped it over on his first turn but managed to learn quickly. The job was brutal with long hours and dangerous conditions. During one storm, his truck slid off the road and nearly fell into a 200-foot drop. Despite the risks, Alex excelled, and by July 1973, he was promoted to lead driver. In 1976, Alex moved to Yellowknife with Louise and their 2 kids. They had $500 and a beat-up truck which broke down just outside the city. They pushed it the rest of the way and lived in it for 3 weeks, using a laundromat to stay warm. On May 17, 1976, Alex overheard someone at a diner talking about ice road trucking jobs. He jumped at the chance even though he had no experience. His first trip was in late May, a dangerous time when the ice was melting. His truck almost fell through the ice, but he managed to get it across. That trip did not scare Alex. Instead, it sparked his passion for ice road trucking. Over the next few months, he studied ice roads, weather, and truck mechanics. By 1977, he was known for his skill and reliability. On February 14, 1977, Alex made a dangerous trip during a blizzard to deliver medical supplies to a remote community. The journey took 52 hours with zero visibility, but he succeeded. Locals started calling him the Ice Road Angel for his bravery and dedication. One freezing morning in January 2007, Alex Debogorski was living his usual life in Yellowknife, Northwest Territories. That day, everything changed. Producers from a TV company, Original Productions, were in town looking for someone to be part of a new reality show about ice road trucking. While talking to locals, they kept hearing Alex's name. Everyone seemed to agree this man was the perfect ice road trucker. Curious, the producers decided to find him. They finally found Alex on January 17, 2007, sitting at a local diner. He was having his usual breakfast of 4 eggs, bacon, and pancakes when the producers came up to him. Alex thought they were salesmen, but they explained they were creating a show about the dangerous job of ice road trucking. Alex was curious but cautious. The producers were instantly impressed by his big personality, deep voice, and amazing storytelling. He talked about wild animals, icy roads cracking beneath his truck, and the dangers of remote wilderness. After hearing his stories, the producers knew they had found their star. Alex, with 26 years of experience driving on ice roads, had everything they needed for the show. Still, Alex was not sure about being on TV. On February 3, 2007, he talked to his family about it during dinner. His wife Louise was not happy about the idea. She worried that cameras would invade their privacy and that the attention might bring problems. Alex was nervous too. He did not want the show to make ice road trucking look silly or fake. And at 53, he wondered if he was too old for the stress of being filmed. For weeks, he went back and forth about what to do. He asked other truckers for advice, and some warned him that fame might not be worth it. On March 15, 2007, Alex even met with a local priest, Father Joseph. The priest told Alex to follow his heart but reminded him that being on TV would come with big responsibilities. The decision was not easy, but everything changed on April 2, 2007. Alex's oldest son called and reminded him how much the family had struggled with money over the years. This conversation made Alex realize the show could provide the financial stability they needed. After talking with his family one more time, on April 10, 2007, Alex decided to do it. On April 15, 2007, he signed the contract just weeks before filming began. When Ice Road Truckers premiered on June 17, 2007, Alex became an instant favorite. Viewers loved his cheerful personality, calm nature in dangerous situations, and strong faith. By the end of the first season, he had received over 3,000 fan letters from people all over the world. While other cast members came and went, Alex stayed for all 11 seasons. On September 8, 2013, during Season 7, Alex celebrated 1,000 days of filming. The crew surprised him with a party at a truck stop in Manitoba, showing how much they appreciated him. But Alex faced challenges too. During Season 2 on January 22, 2008, he suffered a pulmonary embolism, a dangerous health problem. He had to leave the show for a while, but he came back in Season 3, and fans were thrilled. By the time the final season aired in 2017, Alex had appeared in all 138 episodes. He filmed his last ice road trip for the show on March 15, 2017. It was an emotional moment for him as he looked back on his 10 years with the show. When the series finale aired on November 9, 2017, 3.4 million people tuned in, many just to see Alex. Fame was exciting but also difficult for Alex's family. After the first season, he got over 50 fan letters every day and was asked to make public appearances. On September 12, 2007, he went to his first big event, a trucking convention in Dallas. Over 5,000 people came to see him, and the line for his autograph stretched around the building. But being away from home so much was hard. By the end of the first year, Alex had spent 285 days away from his family. His wife Louise said it was tough, especially for their younger children. Alex worked hard to stay close to his family. Every night at 9:00 p.m. he would call home, no matter where he was. On February 14, 2011, he even stopped filming in the middle of a dangerous ice crossing just to make his call. By 2012, Alex managed to get a contract that gave him every third weekend off so he could spend more time with his family. Supporting his large family of 11 children and 13 grandchildren was a big motivation for Alex. Before the show, he worked 340 days a year, sometimes doing extra jobs to make ends meet. On March 18, 2008, his 11th child was born, which made him even more determined to succeed. The show brought financial stability, and by 2012 his income had increased by 400%. But he did not just think about himself. In 2014, Alex set up the Debogorski Family Education Fund to help pay for his grandchildren's college. By 2016, the fund had grown to $500,000. Through all the challenges, Alex always said his family was the reason he worked so hard. In his final interview for the show, he said every mile he had driven and every risk he had taken was all for them. They were his reason for everything. His dedication and resilience inspired fans and made him a legend in the world of ice road trucking. Andrew Debogorski's life changed forever on June 15, 2017. He was just 31 when he was diagnosed with ALS, also called Lou Gehrig's disease. This disease is cruel and takes away a person's ability to move, speak, and even breathe over time. It was a devastating blow to his family. Andrew had been full of life. He was a father to 2 little children and engaged to his partner Miriam. He was loved in Yellowknife for his adventurous spirit and kind heart. Now he was told he only had 2 to 5 years to live. Andrew had been feeling weak for months before this. He had trouble speaking and his muscles felt weaker. The neurologist at Stanton Territorial Hospital in Yellowknife confirmed the diagnosis, advanced ALS. It was heartbreaking. At the time, Andrew's father Alex Debogorski was filming Season 11 of Ice Road Truckers. Alex rushed back home as soon as he heard the news. The family came together, determined to do everything they could. They sought out specialists in Edmonton and Vancouver, hoping for better news, but every doctor confirmed the same thing. Andrew's ALS was aggressive and moving fast. In just a few weeks, Andrew's health started to get worse. By August 2017, he could not work anymore. He had been a heavy equipment operator, but now he needed a wheelchair to get around. His speech became hard to understand and he struggled to eat. The family stayed strong. Andrew kept his sense of humor even as the disease took more from him. He showed incredible courage and inspired everyone around him. The costs of Andrew's care were overwhelming. On July 1, 2017, Alex started a GoFundMe campaign called Andrew's ALS Fight to raise $100,000. The response was amazing. Within 24 hours, they raised $25,000. By the end of July, they had over $75,000. People donated from all over Canada, the US, even Australia and the UK. The family also organized fundraisers. In September, they held a concert and silent auction at the Yellowknife Elks Lodge. Local musicians performed, and Alex sent a video message because he could not attend. That night they raised $32,000 more. In April 2018, the family hosted a community yard sale called Wheels for Andrew. They needed a wheelchair-accessible van and the event raised $40,000. Alex also went on a fundraising tour across Canada. In October 2018, he drove his truck from Yellowknife to Toronto, stopping in cities to raise awareness for ALS. The tour ended with a gala in Toronto where they raised $150,000. By the end of 2018, all the efforts combined had raised $487,000. This money paid for Andrew's care, adaptive equipment, and experimental treatments not covered by healthcare. Even with all this help, ALS did not slow down. By early 2018, Andrew could no longer walk. He relied on a motorized wheelchair to move. In March, he needed a device to help him speak. That same month, his breathing began to weaken. In June 2018, exactly a year after his diagnosis, Andrew caught pneumonia. He was rushed to the hospital and stayed there for 2 weeks. He survived, but he now needed a ventilator to breathe and required round-the-clock care. Despite everything, Andrew married Miriam in April 2018. It was a beautiful but bittersweet ceremony. Andrew needed help saying his vows and could not stand at the altar. Still, the day was filled with love. Andrew's spirit stayed strong even as he lost more physical abilities. By fall, he could not move much at all. He used eye gaze technology to communicate by looking at letters on a screen. His mind remained sharp and he kept connecting with family and friends. On December 28, 2018, tragedy struck. A fire broke out in Andrew's home in Yellowknife. Miriam managed to save their 2 young children, 5-year-old Nia and 4-month-old Miroslav, but Andrew, confined to his wheelchair, could not escape. Firefighters arrived quickly but could not reach him in time. He was taken to the hospital but was pronounced dead from smoke inhalation. He was only 33. The cause of the fire was never determined, leaving the family with even more questions and pain. Andrew's final moments were heroic. Even as the fire spread, he used his communication device to tell Miriam to get the baby out. His last words saved his wife and children. Andrew had spent months planning for emergencies. He kept a fire extinguisher nearby and practiced escape drills with his family. His preparations and his final act of bravery made sure his loved ones survived. For Alex, losing Andrew was unbearable. He had visited Andrew just 4 days before the fire, on Christmas Eve. Seeing his son in such a vulnerable state, unable to move or speak, was heart-wrenching. Alex struggled with guilt. He was not home when the fire happened because he was on a trucking job to cover expenses. The news of the fire came while he was on the road, and the guilt of not being there haunted him in the weeks that followed. Alex leaned on his faith and family for strength. He wrote emotional tributes to Andrew on social media and found comfort in the support from fans around the world. Alex also became an advocate for ALS research and fire safety. Alex Debogorski became famous for being on Ice Road Truckers, but despite his success on TV, he has faced financial problems that might surprise fans. Even though people know his name and catchphrase, he hasn't earned the kind of money many would expect. By 2022, his net worth was only about $400,000. This seems small considering his decades of hard work and TV stardom. One reason for this is that reality TV stars don't make as much money as people think. Alex once joked, "I'm only famous. I'm taking $20 donations to get my teeth fixed because that's as far as I can count." It was funny, but it showed the truth about how little money he made. Ice road trucking is also a seasonal job. This means Alex doesn't make money year-round. In 2020, he said he still needed to find trucking jobs during the warmer months to support himself. On top of that, Keeping trucks in good condition for the dangerous ice roads costs a lot of money. In 2018, Alex had to ask for $7,500 in donations to fix his truck. It was a clear sign that even years after the show, his finances weren't stable. Alex has a large family with 11 kids and over a dozen grandchildren. Taking care of such a big family adds more financial pressure. He has also said that his contract with the History Channel stopped him from making extra money through endorsement deals. This means he couldn't fully use his fame to earn more. All these reasons explain why Alex still struggles with money even though he is well known. Alex's work as an ice road trucker has also affected his health. One of the scariest moments happened in 2008 during the filming of Season 2 of Ice Road Truckers. He was rushed to the hospital because of a pulmonary embolism, which is a dangerous blood clot in the lung. It was so serious that he had to leave the show in the middle of the season. This showed how risky the job really is. Over his career, Alex has had many injuries. He broke his ankles and legs, had multiple concussions, and was even hit by a freight train. These injuries have left him with constant pain and mobility issues. The freezing temperatures and physical work also took a toll on his body. He developed arthritis in his hands and knees, likely from gripping cold steering wheels and climbing in and out of trucks for years. He also lost some of his hearing because of the loud truck engines. Even with these problems, Alex keeps working. However, he now takes on shorter and less demanding jobs to manage his health. He has also talked about how truckers need better healthcare and support. Despite everything, Alex remains strong and keeps going. Tragedy has also been a big part of Alex's life. On June 16, 2024, Alex lost his son Alexander Jr., also known as AJ. He was only 41 years old. This sudden loss shocked Alex's family and fans. AJ left behind a wife and 6 children, which made the loss even harder for the family. This was not the first tragedy Alex faced. In 2019, another son, Andrew, passed away in a house fire at the age of 32. Andrew had been diagnosed with ALS 2 years earlier. Losing 2 sons in 5 years has been incredibly difficult for Alex and his family. After AJ's death, fans and fellow truckers offered their support. They created a Facebook group called Alexander Jr. Debogorski Memories to share stories and photos. Many people wrote about AJ's kindness, humor, and strong family values, showing how loved he was. Alex shared his grief online, writing, "My family has suffered profound loss with the unexpected passing of our dear Alexander Jr., 41 years old. He leaves behind 6 children and a wife." This simple message showed the depth of his pain. Balancing his public life with these private losses has been hard for Alex. On Ice Road Truckers, he is known for his big laugh and funny stories, but behind the scenes, he has faced so much pain. After Andrew's death in 2019, Alex opened up about the loss in an interview. He became emotional as he talked about Andrew's final act of making sure his wife and kids got out of the fire. Even with all this grief, Alex continues to meet fans and appear at events. He still smiles for photos and signs autographs, though some fans notice he seems quieter in person. His faith as a Catholic has helped him cope. Alex says prayer and his belief in a higher purpose give him the strength to keep going. Alex's time on Ice Road Truckers was full of unforgettable moments. One time during Season 3, his truck almost hit a fuel tanker on a narrow ice road. Both drivers slammed their brakes, and the tanker sideswiped Alex's truck. A crash could have caused an explosion, but Alex's quick thinking avoided disaster. In another episode, he drove a 100-ton crane across thin ice that was cracking beneath him. His calm approach helped him deliver it safely. Throughout his career, Alex has faced life-or-death situations. In 1999, his truck almost sank through a frozen lake. He barely managed to save the cab as the trailer sank into the icy water. In 2008, during a blizzard, his truck spun on black ice and almost went off a mountain road. Each time, Alex relied on his experience and skill to survive. Alex has earned many awards for his work. In 2012, he was named Ice Road Legend by the Canadian Trucking Alliance. In 2014, he was inducted into the North American Trucking Hall of Fame. He also received an award for driving over 1.5 million miles on ice roads without a major accident. These honors recognize his skill and dedication as a trucker. In 2010, Alex wrote a book called King of the Road: True Tales from a Legendary Ice Road Trucker. The book shared stories from his life, including his dangerous and fascinating experience on ice roads. It became a bestseller and has been translated into 12 languages. Alex toured 20 cities to promote the book, meeting fans and sharing his incredible stories. The success of the book showed that Alex is not only a talented trucker but also a great storyteller.